Hello, welcome to the channel. So, very quickly, we'll be going over a few pairs. And as the title says, I want to teach you one of the easiest strategies and one of the best approaches to the Forex market. I've been in this for a long time, and I believe what I'm about to tell you, is the best way to approach the market, especially the Forex trading market. Let's proceed. Now, we're on the 4 hour, I'll go to the weekly time frame to determine the overall trend. It's quite clear the weekly time frame is quite bullish. All right, we're on the daily. The daily is bullish. The 4 hour now is also bullish. So what are we looking for? We're looking for areas of interest where we can also join the trend and join the 4 hour momentum. Now that we are on the 4 hour, I will draw this key level very quickly. This trend line. Now, what else do we see here? We see a reaction at this low. Why this is important is because the 4 hour is still bullish. This is a low. This is a high. This is a minor low. I'm not counting it. The overall move, the overall swing here is still one swing leg. So that is still bullish. Now, in this situation, it is unique. At this key point of interest, this trend line touch and support level, we can now start looking for entries. Now, you can use candlestick formation, engulfing candlesticks. Very, very important. You can look for things like divergences. You can look for whatever entry pattern. But one of the most powerful entry pattern is still the engulfing candlestick pattern. Double bottoms, double tops. We look for things like that here. You can scale down to the 15 minutes time frame and look for things like that. So as price goes up, comes down, and it fails to break structure, gives you engulfing candlesticks, maybe also breaking momentum lines, you can take this trade for a buy. One very important thing here is that do not trade against the 4 hour time frame. Follow the 4 hour trend. If you want to be extra safe, you can wait for price to break a minor level. This minor level, when price breaks it, you cannot look for buying opportunity. In that sense, price has turned. It's like it's turning from inside out. So price has turned inside out. It gives you a high probability setup and opportunity. It gives you a high probability setup, and it's highly profitable. So for gold, very simple. So what you can do, an aggressive entry is from here right now. You already have a touch of your trend line and you are at a key support. The price is bullish. Weekly is bullish, daily is bullish, 4 hour is bullish. So you can take this. But to be on the safer side, you can wait for price to react from here, break structure, which is a small minor support turn resistance level or resistance turn support level, for you to break it and come back and retest. And you look for your entries at that point. Let's go to the next pair. Let's quickly look at GBP USD. Let's go to the weekly time frame. Now, this is where it gets interesting. If you look at the weekly time frame on GBP USD, it is not clear. Let's mark out the higher highs and higher lows. We have these points. You can see the price has broken structure. So price is basically consolidating. The weekly time frame here is not giving us any clear signal. But what I do is I look for the last highs and lows that price reacted from. And this I mark it in red because it is a higher time frame listing key level. So we see that price reacted from here. Now, why it is important to mark this is because once price reacts from a higher time frame level as like the weekly level, from the 4 hour already, if price begins to turn, just like turning itself inside out, you see price changing. The price begins to change in this smaller segment here. If price begins to change, you can now start looking for setups, break and retest in all this. You're looking for the break. You see when price broke this, you can look for this retest. Price broke So you can now look for your entry signals, entry parameters in within this structure. But it is because price has reacted from a higher time frame key level. So you know it is valid because you are going to a much lower time frame to look for that turn. Price is turning itself inside out. Let's go back to the weekly. So what we see here is that price is in a bit of a consolidation. You cannot tell me, you cannot say you are certain of where the weekly is heading to. So let's mark out this key level that price reacted from, the last place he reacted from that formed this impulsive leg. Let's go to the daily. On the daily time frame, what can we see? There is really nothing much going on here, but I like to know where price is reacting from at that moment. If you look at this point here, let me zoom in there. You look at this point, you see that price had a reaction here, 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 and here. Now, I like what I'm seeing here. As price swept it, it came down. So this minor thing you see here is holding. So the daily, we can say the daily is bullish because if you look at the daily structure, it has broken all these levels here to the left. So the daily is bullish. Let's go to the 4-hour. Now, on the 4-hour, what do we see? We'll go back to a lighter key level line. So we have this on the 4-hour. Price is reacting currently on this zone. Now, where is our trend line? Let's mark out the current momentum of price. So this is the current momentum of price. Price reacted off it from it there and shot up. Interesting. Now, where price is at the moment, there isn't enough. What is the confirmation? What else am I looking at there for me to want to take a buy there? There is really nothing going on here. Rather, you should wait for this price to break this minor structure. This trend line becomes invalid because it's not working anymore for us. We can look for this and continue the buys. But the only challenge is that we are at this minor level. But don't pay too much credence to that because even if you break past this, even if you break past this level, come up, your target is not exceeding this point because that is what I call traffic. That is your target. So you are good to go. And if you look at it, you have targets to aim for. You have targets to aim for. There's a lot to still aim for there. There's still this clean move down that price can still correct. So that is, you want to see price break this and continue that move. Simple and easy peasy. Then you can also look for other confirmation like trend line touch here or the EMAs and stuff like that where it is applicable and look for those trades. Now, if you want to be adventurous, if you can find maybe on the smaller time frame, you see a good double bottom setup here as is currently being presented, you can also consider taking this buy. But this is more like an aggressive. I'm showing you the aggressive and non-aggressive approach to this. On the break of this, you can now start looking for the buys. Targets at least this supply area here. So that is, I'm just trying to get your gears turning. By this point, you're already 1 hour up. You are break even. Don't take that risk. So the safer trade, like I explained earlier, would be when price breaks here and you target this supply as your 1:1 for a break-even trade, then your 1:2. So it's all up to you. This is GBP USD. Let's look at Euro JPY quickly. We're on the weekly time frame. Let's turn off the EMA. I use it sparingly. What do we have here? Still the same thing. I don't even bother with it because I cannot necessarily see the clear trend, because when price came down here, this is the last level price has been reacting from, the last key level. So price came here, tested here, came here, tested, it's bouncing here. Now, what's the second level that price has been reacting from? These levels here. I will refine it a bit in the daily time frame. Okay. We have this. So on the daily time frame, we can see that we are refining this setup now. We are refining the key level. So what we can now look out for is, what is the trend? On the weekly, there is no clear trend. On the daily also, we can't also find a clear trend. Let's refine that weekly level just a tiny bit. We have this here, price is reacting from. Beautiful. We have this level also, price is reacting from. Beautiful. So we are trapped in this consolidation. So for me at this point, I am just looking at where this point can give me optimal entries, optimal zones. I'll now look at something like this minor trend line. Not too great to look at. Nothing exciting there. Let's go to the 4-hour. Honestly, there is really nothing here. This is too messy. It's not clean. There's no clear direction. I don't bother with it. I'll delete this. There's really nothing clear, nothing exciting to look at here. Maybe at this point, this candlestick formation here would have given me a small entry for a sell or something like that, but that's me, taking a lot of risk. But on the 4-hour here, this is the zone that price has to clear cleanly for there to be a conversation for sales. Let's go to the 1 now. Let me see if there's anything. It's too messy. Too messy. Let's go to the 15 minutes. It's too messy. So in trades like this, where you're not certain, you're not clear, it's best to just move on. You can't take every trade. Let's look at Bitcoin. Now, on BTC, the trend is very clear. It is a bullish trend. Easy peasy. What next? Do we have key levels? Yes, we do. We have this key level. There's no key level that price is currently reacting from. So we'll mark the key level that price will most likely head to. So we have these 2 key levels that price will most likely head to. What next? We can now have our trend line. Fantastic. What next? We go to the daily time frame. On the daily time frame, this is the key level. Price formed a double top formation here. Price also formed another formation here on the daily time frame. So we have these 2 key levels on the daily. Now, on the daily, I would also mark this out, because price has been using this trend line as a momentum line, stepping itself downwards. Let's go to the 4-hour. What do we have on the 4-hour? On the 4-hour, we have this level. So price has broken it now. So what are we now looking for? A clear retest into this place can give us sell setups. But the problem with messy patterns is this. Price can now come here and refuse to break these small levels. So the safer option will be for price to completely break these zones and you look for that first the retest, beg your pardon, the retest here into this key level. Now, if price comes into this key level, what you look out for is the break. As price is coming down, you look for the shift in structure and you take the change in character going upwards for a buy. So what are we looking at now on Bitcoin? What we can see clearly is that right now, the sell opportunities are the higher probability setups. We have a key level from the weekly and daily that price will most likely head to. So we can look for selling opportunities once price returns to test all these key 4 hour key levels. So that is basically what we have on um, gold, on Bitcoin. I beg your pardon. So we have we price reacted from this zone, forming a triple top formation. What would have been the entry at that point where the price retested that this thing? I think the only thing here, the trade won't be a very good trade, but the break of this counter trend line has told me that the bullish impulse, the bullish momentum here has died. Or I look for a good candlestick formation and a good rejection on the 1 hour stroke 4 hour time frame. And this is the rejection. But I can't take this. If you take something like this, you are basically taking this. Your stop loss has to be above this rejection. Then what is now your target? Well, by now you'd have hit your 1:2, but no, I can't. It's not, I don't just like it. It doesn't make any sense. So, these are some of the things you have to look at. You have to make decisions and consider some trades optimal and some suboptimal. So, the last thing we'll look at today is USD CAD. What do we see now on the weekly time frame? On the weekly time frame, we see that price has clearly formed this key level. There is another key level here. Now, let's mark out the trend lines. We have the momentum that price has been climbing with. Let's go to the daily time frame. Daily time frame is now quite messy. Let's try and rationalize it as best as we can. On the daily time frame, we are still on this. Let's mark out this point that is like a key point. We can now mark out this minor area here. So, is there any trend line, momentum line here? Let's go to the 4 hour. On the 4 hour, we're looking at price to come to the last zone that was broken. And this is the area, just around these areas. So the trading opportunity that we can look out for is something like this, for price to come into here, tap this trend line, and give us entry confirmations for a sell. But see the challenge here. The way price broke this and swept back into the zone, honestly, there are some things that only experience will teach you. There's some things that I can explain some things, but unless you've experienced it, no amount of explanation will make sense. This way price swept into this zone and came back. It's like it's a fake out. It's like a fake out. And it's on the daily time frame. This is also one of a powerful reversal indication. So what I mean is that it's possible that price will blow past all these things and come down here. So this zone it might, unless you see a clear signal, do not take a sell from zones like this, because you are going against the overall time frame. The reason why I'm marking all these things in red and gray is so that you understand where the danger is. A daily zone is more powerful than a 4 hour zone. A weekly zone is more powerful than a daily zone. So when you see that you're at a daily zone and price has erupted from a daily zone, it did not break and retest and continue. Rather, it broke, swept back into the trend, and is trying to reverse. Don't be careful to go against that momentum. It's like a river flowing. Don't go and be swimming against it. So it is these little nuances that will help you. Even if you have to take anything here, even if the signal for anything here, what you might be seeing is for something short term. But I like the way there's a trend line, there's a key level, and all that stuff supporting the trade. Another thing you can also see here is that I might have not drawn this trend line correctly. I think this, let's draw it a bit more. Yeah, this is makes more sense. We might have it come down here and test this supply zone here. Then it now makes more sense for me, because when it is coming to test this untested supply zone and gives you entry confirmation and you can now sell, what it means is that, my drawing is atrocious, I beg your pardon. It tests this zone and you can sell from here. You have more leverage, more risk to reward that you can target. And again, if you look here, the supply zone here is untested. The fair value gaps have been closed. These are small key things that I also include in my trading. But just focus on the fact that if price gives you a clear signal, you take your trade. If not, you wait for price to. Now, let's look at the opportunities for buys here. Let's look for the opportunities for buys. Let me delete all this now. The buying opportunity here, in all honesty, is two things. When price breaks and retest here, we can look for it, or price breaks here, retest. These are it. This is the two opportunities for buy. Apart from that, there's really nothing else here. And at that point, price would have also cleared this whole momentum, price momentum line. So, guys, the market is very exciting. You have to take it like a game. You have to make it look refreshing for you. Do not overcomplicate it. The market is simple, it is easy, and it's very simple to understand. But you have to apply risk management. Do not be greedy to become a billionaire and a millionaire overnight. It is a slow and steady process. Well, I hope you've learned something new today. I hope this video has been beneficial to you. Please drop a like and subscribe to the channel. I will be dropping more constantly and keeping motivated to drop more for you guys. Thank you very much.